Hello, Freedom House family. Uh, my name is Rudy Ramirez, and I'm here in order to finish with the Reclaim Life series. We are going to do an illustration on my life, which is Reclaim Life. Um, I was born and raised Catholic. Um, I grew up in a good family, but my mom drank a lot, and my dad did drugs, and and at a very young age, I loved how my mom liked her drinks. Of course, I make drinks for her, and I make one for me. Um, my dad never made the effort to hide the the grass, so I started smoking at a very very early age, and and I think at one point life was going great until when I was 5, my mom and dad got divorced, and I thought they got divorced because of me. I had I was diagnosed with ADD and or OCD, a whole bunch of D's that I can't even remember, and I broke a lot of stuff. I was very careless. Um, every time my name was mentioned, my relatives that I was gonna spend some time at their house, they always said, "Oh, don't leave them alone in my house." Nobody wanted me around because I was, like I said, I was really careless, and that was on my dad's side of the family. Um, I forgot to mention when my mom and dad got divorced. I got to live with my dad because he was more financially stable. And but the one thing that I was confused at it was that when I was with my dad, they always talked down on my mom's side of the family because they were poor, and I always resented that. Um, on the other hand, on my mom's side of the family, they were more supportive, and even though, like I said, even though she drank a lot, she always loved me her own way. Um, I was kind of confused with the Catholic thing because Catholics have a lot of saints, Saint Pete, Saint John, Saint this, Saint that, and I thought I never had a relationship with God because I didn't know who to pray, who is the source of my faith. Um, that was my first taste of really really hurt when my mom and dad got divorced. My second taste of hurt was when my dad got together with this girl, and there was he had two girls, my sisters, my half sisters, and I lived with them for about 5 years until they separated. Really, I didn't care much for the mom, but I at that point I didn't know why my sisters had to go. The only thing that gave me a sense of having a family or a sense of honor, because I always cared for my sister. I learned to like for my sisters because sometimes we were left alone in the house, and concerned neighbors we used to come and, hey kids, where are your parents? And I had to come up with many ways so that they wouldn't take my sister. I had to lie very very young age to protect my sisters, and I would do anything for them. So when they separated, like I said, I didn't know why my sisters had to go, and and I remember those very lonely nights. Lonely nights. My dad wasn't around. Maybe once in a while after work, or when he was drunk, we engaged in conversations and stuff. But most of the time it was I was by myself. I picked up some habits that I'm not very proud of, like pornography, and I smoked cigarettes, I smoked grass, I drank more than usual because now I didn't have supervision of an adult supervision. So um, a very, 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 very dark moment of life for a while at a very young age. Um, in school, I didn't do good in school academically, but I was good at sports, and I accomplished to be drafted in the Nicaraguan track and field team, and and that was a joy because from my whole high school, I was the only guy that got to wear the Nicaraguan uniform. I'm originally from Nicaragua, and so I wore the Nicaraguan uniform, and what a joy to be representing my country in another country. Um, with that came more bad habits. I thought, because the the sports was good, but the fame it led me to other habits that I had to hide, like more drinking, more money involved. I used to race for money, um, because I was very little, and then people will bet on, hey, I bet you I can I can race you and win. How much money you got, and they saw this little guy, and you know, they never bet on a little guy, because yes. Anyways, so some other schools were trying to give me the grades to go to their school, and I was it felt like cheating all the time. I thought, just because schools wanted me to go to their school because of the sport that I was in, just to bring them more fame or more advertising and stuff like that. That I felt like I was cheating at getting A's and getting grades to pass my school projects and all that stuff. So, anyways, when I came to this country, I made an effort to pursue my running career, but when the new culture, new language, new people that I had to meet, and it was like reborn again in this country, and with that became bigger habits, that I got into heavier drugs, and the running career was totally wasted. So for a long time, I just I chose the drugs because it was the thing. It was everybody was doing it. My uncle was my role model, and whatever he did, we did it. I managed to have a job, but sometimes my spending habits were more expensive than the money I made. So I had to compensate with crimes, and so I pursued the life of crimes and in a lot of that. For a long time, I've been in and out of jail. They thought, oh, if they put me in jail, it was gonna do something for me. But in jail, it was free schooling for me. I went to learn who had the better drugs, who was doing the biggest crimes, and so it was free schooling for me. One of the last times that I went to jail, I want to tell you that I met this chaplain that spoke life into me one time, and he said, "Hey kid, God told me that you need to be saved." And I remember exactly, it was a Friday night, and I was getting released on a Saturday morning. And I told the guy, "Hey, can you save me tomorrow? Because, I swore that I would never see this guy again, But he kept insisting. "No, kid, God told me that you need to be saved today." And I kept blowing him off, but he kept, like a Christian, he kept insisting, "You know what? It needs to be today." He finally stopped me. He put hands in my shoulder, and he stopped me, and he said, "God told me to save you today." He said, "Well, save me from what?" I don't know. You just have to find out yourself." So he laid hands on me and his wife, and there was a volunteer there, chaplain too, and he they said something about accepting Jesus as my Lord and Savior, and something about repenting from my sins, and a whole bunch of stuff that didn't make sense to me because I was just, you know what, I'm letting him do his thing, and I'll never see this guy ever again. Okay, well, that day I was so excited to get out the next morning that I called someone that I wasn't supposed to, and that same night, instead of getting released, they told me that I wasn't gonna get released. They revoked my probation, and I was gonna do a year in Washington County Jail, as because I violated my parole. Um, well, now I was sure that I was getting out that day, but I didn't. So, and not only that, but I was in. They put me in solitary confinement for about 3 months, which is one cell, and then you only get 15 minutes a day to either you make a phone call, you take a shower, or you walk in the yard. You have to choose one every day, and that's 23 hours and 45 minutes in one cell. You can't get out. There's no windows. There's very little, a little window on the door that. So, anyways, in that cell there was a half a Bible. It was ripped. It was ripped, and it was the New Testament, part of the Old Testament and the New Testament. So I thought, well, I have a year to find out about this Jesus that saved my life, that this guy saved me from. You know, I'm still skeptical about the Jesus thing. Okay, so okay, I started doing exercising and reading one chapter at a time, one book at a time, and then all of a sudden I'm crying, I'm laughing, I'm finding all kinds of stories that related, like that was in the Bible, you know, and then and not only that, but I found parts, scriptures that were talking to me like a love letter of God to me, to myself. So I started, oh my gosh, I love this Jesus thing. You know, I'm gonna give it a try. I have tried all kinds of treatment facilities to help me overcome my addiction. I tried programs to help me overcome my criminality, and nothing worked. So I thought, you know what? Maybe this Jesus thing will work for me because, I mean, I got nothing to lose. I was in jail anyways. All I had was time. All I had was time. And I started reading, I started praying, and and it was really meaning it this time. Not like the fake prayer that, oh God, if you get me out of this, I will never do this again, or you know, my prayer didn't have intention towards me. So it was more like towards others. You know, help me forgive, help me out. Give everything to you, Father, because you know I still want to control my life, you know, the way I always did. So I started getting more in touch with a lot of the Bible, and I related to it. When I got out, because I was good behavior, they in 6 months and 21 days, I remember they calling my name and they say, you're out of here. And you know, at that point, I didn't have a plan when I got out. So I told them, hey, you guys gave me a year. Can you keep me for a year? Because I didn't have a plan. I didn't have nowhere to go. Every place that I knew I could go, I wasn't supposed to, you know, because it was part of my probation. And so basically I had nowhere to go. The streets, it was the only one thing. And I knew if I went back to the streets, I was going to go back in the cycle again, in the cycle of criminality or cycle of drugs. And at this point, I already broke down that I didn't want to live, but I didn't want to die either. You know, I just wanted to gain my life back like it was when I was younger, in my younger days. So, anyways, they let me out against my will. Against my will. Um, I started going to NA and AA meetings, and he kept me clean and sober. But it wasn't what I was looking for. It was helping me, but it wasn't what I was looking for until I stepped into this place called Celebrate Recovery, and they spoke about this Jesus that saved me, a year ago, 6 months ago. Um, I started doing a lot of community service for actually to pay for my fines, my court fines, and pretty soon I was running the community service, and I don't know what they saw in the church that I was going to. I don't know what they saw in me, but they gave me the keys to their church, and I look, oh gosh, these people don't know what they're getting into, because I'm a criminal. Why are they giving me the keys? There's got to be a catch. But anyways, I was learning to be trusted, and I was learning to be the Rudy that I am now. I started growing in my faith. All of a sudden, I was doing things that I never done before. I'm not talking about new crimes and new contacts. It was about more encouraging others in my own way. I landed a sponsor that told me, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter how long you have in recovery. You always have the gift of encouraging others, no matter what. So I always did that in my own way. I had a sponsor that kept insisting that I would get baptized, but I was just scared that I was become that crazy Christian like the guy that saved me 6 months ago. And so anyways, I for like a year, I think in my first year of recovery, I kept saying, no, I'm not worth of getting baptized, because I know at one point I'm gonna fall off the wagon. I still had that reservation that I was gonna fall off the wagon, until finally after a year I said, hey, you know what, I think I want that, because it would be a confession, or be a testimony to the people around me that I am taking a leap of faith in giving my life to Christ. And I thought that getting baptized, cleansing my life with the water, was a perfect example of becoming a Christian. And I was baptized as a Catholic, but I was just a baby, so it wasn't my choice. This time I went to a class to learn what was I getting into, and it was my choice to become a Christian and make it public. So in reading some scriptures, I found out that Hebrews 13:6 really spoke to me when I could say with confidence that the Lord is my helper, and I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? Nothing that men can do hurt me. Nothing that men do can hurt me. All right. So there's been moments where I encounter many events back in my addiction when I would run away from every situation, but this one time when that scripture, every event that I encounter, that scripture stuck with me, because it really didn't matter what or who I was facing. It was if I was facing the courts, or if I was facing anything at this point in my life, I wasn't afraid of anything. I wasn't afraid of the truth. I always hid the truth. I was a pathological liar for a long time. I lied just for the sake of lying, yes. So another thing that happened with my early recovery, I had lost my kids to my drug addiction, and after actually in my first year of recovery, I got I got to get my kids back, and and I remarried, and my ex-wife remarried, and now our kids. Every time they talk about their parents, they always say, you know, that they have two sets of parents that are awesome because they get two of everything. They get two Christmas, two holidays, two of everything. So that was another way of God redeeming my life little by little. And not only they getting my kids back, but their respect, their eye contact. You know, there was a lot of times. I mean, I put my kids through a lot of stuff that they wouldn't even look at me in the eyes or you know, and so gain their respect and their love back. They love me back. I'm pretty sure they always loved me, but I always felt like they didn't respect me for a long time, and I was good with that because if I chose drugs over my kids, you know. Anyways, but you know what? This is where the reclaim life comes because you know ever since I accepted Jesus as my savior, and I started helping others without expecting anything back. My life started making more sense than ever. You know, I thought that um, I was always looking for or searching for something to please me. You know, I thought life evolved around me, and it's not like that. My life became better when I started helping others. I love to serve. I have a servant's heart. I always see the need, and I don't even ask. You know, I just jump. Okay, you know what? How can we help? How can I help? I thought because my experiences in recovery, I started Celebrate Recovery with my wife 2 years ago, right here in the city of Dayton, and I remember God called us both the same night to Dayton Dayton Celebrate Recovery. And we thought, why Dayton? Why not McMinnville? We live in McMinnville. We want it there, so we don't have to drive that far. But you know what? I was done fighting God. You know what? Okay, God said, then I have to go. Here I am, God. You know, so I am going to serve right here in Dayton, in the little city of Dayton, and I also got married over here in Dayton in the park, and it was a crazy day. I remember when I was putting the signs for the wedding, it hailed, it rained, it was windy, it was like, oh, and everything you can think of in the middle of June. It was like in the middle of June 16. And anyways, just like 30 minutes before the wedding started, it just like God gave us this beautiful sun with no clouds. I mean, He parted the sky for us. You know, it was a beautiful day for to be redeemed. This time I got married with the God way. We did not engage in intimate relationship until we got married. So we dated for like a year and a half. This wasn't on my terms. It was suggested by my pastor. Hey, if you want to get married, you want to be with this lady, you do it the God way, you know. Because if you're gonna do everything, you gotta do it with the passion, God's way, right? Then another redeeming was because of my experience in recovery. I landed a job as a recovery mentor, which I help people overcome addiction or lessen it, because sometimes we have a thing that is called harm reduction. that even though you're not committing crimes and you're still doing drugs, but you're doing less and you're trying to get your act together. That's where the healing starts. I'm not allowed to push my faith into anybody, but I can speak life and I can speak truth into others guys' life. I can walk into any jail that I want now, and I can speak to anybody that I want. And sometimes people want to hear it, sometimes they don't. But I keep planting those seeds. Like just like it happened to me. It wasn't an easy road for me. It had to be rocky, so I could have a taste of the I can't come up with the word.
Reclaimed life.
Yes, of our reclaimed life. So I one thing that I wanted to say, that the dark moments, they're always there. But I finally got to realize that my life is not perfect. It's not perfect, but I am content with what I have. As long as I got Jesus, I don't care if I'm rich or poor. Man, I still the same content. I walked in the dark for a very long time, and now I live in the light, and it is so much better. Yes, it was so exhausting living in the dark, because I had to living lies, and lies were like puppies, they bred, and then you have bigger lies and another little lies over here, and I just I love living in the truth. I love God. I love Jesus. I love my wife. I love everything, everybody. I love our church. And it's stuff that I never loved before, because I would never help anyone unless I was getting something back, or maybe double, oh, I'm not going to help you because I'm not getting anything. And now I do it just because I just want to. It fills me. Sometimes I feel like it's having me, it keeps me busy, but you know what? It doesn't keep me busy. It fills me. It fills me, and I just keep reclaiming others' lives too. God didn't reclaim my life just to end right here. It's to give others the same opportunities that I had, through this process of reclaiming my life. And I guess I am good, right? Thank you, Freedom Family. You are awesome, and I hope this touch you in any ways. And if it doesn't touch you, maybe you have a neighbor that you want to. Hey, look, send them a link to YouTube. I don't know where I think we're on Facebook. We are on
freedomhouse.com.
freedomhouse.com. And I love you guys. Thank you. Have a happy Sunday. And that's it. I'm good.
Wow, what an amazing story of redemption. Rudy's life is the perfect example of a life that has been redeemed for Christ. In his early days, he lived one way, and as he got older, he learned and was redeemed for Christ. And now you wouldn't even know that the Rudy today lived a life like that. What an amazing story of redemption. Redemption can be yours. You just need to ask. And we want to help you with that here at Freedom House. If you need help today, if you're somebody you need to talk to, if you have something you need to be prayed for, or you want to talk about how to claim this life of redeemed for yourself, we want to help you. You can reach us at www.freedomhousedayton.com. You can reach us on Facebook, and we're also on YouTube. Our contact information is on all those sites. And we want to help you. We want to be there for you and help you in your journey to freedom. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.